Are they, whoever they are, those that are in power, using carbon copy narratives just to throw us for a loop, or is this a coincidence? As I was cooking my breakfast this morning, I had TikTok playing in the background. A content creator that I really enjoy, she goes by the name of, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, but I believe it's Kadisha, came across my For You page with another one of her videos. I've been following her because she's been posting a lot about the Diddy stuff, and I just like the girl. But this time, this video was about Twitch. This guy right here. As I was listening to her video, I started to notice a lot of commonalities between what happened after the fact of the unalivings of Twitch and Chester. So just bear with me. We're going to get into it. I took some pieces of her video and then I'm going to compare it to Chester.
And more. When Allison Hawker came out and she tried to say that Twitch was struggling with active addiction, it honestly set alarm bells off in my head. It just didn't sit right with me.
All right, just for context in comparing, alternative press article, we're talking about Talinda Bennington, the widow of Chester Bennington. Here's a quote. He struggled with addiction and depression, two things I have never struggled with, Bennington explains.
Especially because in his autopsy, we know that it came back clear he did not have any substances nor alcohol in his system. And the way she was portraying that was this is what possibly caused his demise because he was struggling with a lot and he was also in active addiction.
All right, here's part of Chester's autopsy report. We're going to do a deep dive on this in another video because there's just too much. And as I've said before, there's all these rabbit holes with Chester, but let's try to stay focused and keep it short as we can. All right, I understand that it says presumptive positive for MDMA and meth. And then there's also a little bit of alcohol in his system, but otherwise it's like there's nothing there, right? And to clear the MDMA meth thing up, hang on. All right, so here you go. After the fact, People reports based on a blood test, Bennington's body tested presumptive positive for MDMA, also known as ecstasy, but 2 additional urine tests failed to detect the drug. The autopsy concluded the rocker was not under the influence of the drug when he died. All right, so anyways, not under the influence of anything, just like Twitch.
She was claiming that she was coming out with all of this because she wanted it to be used to help people who are struggling with mental health issues and active addiction. The one thing that doesn't sit right with me even more is when she got into his journal notes, his private journal, saying that he was SA'd as a child and this is what he was dealing with. And this is what could have possibly led to an addiction issue and mental health issues. This man wrote this in his personal.
All right, so again, we'll go into more depth about 320 changes direction with Talinda Bennington, but here we go. I co-founded 320 Change Direction to cut through the silence of those suffering. Gee, so here we go again. We're helping people that are struggling with their mental health and addiction. All right. And here's one of Talinda's social media comments, but why am I pointing this one out? Well, because right here, just like Twitch's wife, are you mad because you think that my husband? Because if you read his journals and autobiographies that I have locked in a safe, you'd think otherwise. What's with the journal stuff? By the way, I could make a whole video about these journals because there's a lot more to that as well. I told y'all there's a lot of rabbit holes with Chester.
I started reading all of the backlash from Twitch's family and closest friends, and they started saying that Twitch's family had to sign NDAs to even attend his funeral.
All right, this one's not about NDAs, but here's a little snippet of the ex-wife, Samantha Bennington, complaining about Chester's funeral. And before we get started, just so you know, there's other family members that have complained about it, and you can find this stuff online. All right, so here we go. My son and I, meaning Draven Bennington, have not had an opportunity to speak, not even at his funeral. It says that only represented his life that he was married to his new wife. She goes on to say there's no photos of him anywhere. It was more like checking into K-Rock's Weenie Roast Festival. That's a local radio station. Never mentioning a man who grew up from a little boy and loved many things. Becoming a rock star was just one thing. Where were the photos of him? Why did the program look like a cheap happy hour menu? I'm so disgusted on so many levels. There were many friends and family that should have been there, But when you turn a funeral into reducing someone's life into 12 years, that's what you get. And just like I said before already, we're going to go ahead and do videos about that program and who was at that funeral, because trust me, it's actually really bizarre. It's nothing like a funeral.
Twitch's children are allegedly isolated from seeing his side of the family. They haven't even been able to see his children.
Now, as someone that knows the family, I've heard from multiple family members, including Chester's oldest son, Jamie, and his sister, Toby, as well as Grandma, Susan, that's Chester's mom. They haven't been able to see the kids that are Talinda and Chester's. So for context in a paper trail, I'll go ahead and show you just a few social media blurbs from Toby's husband, John. So basically you can pause to read, but he says, I would give everything to be able to talk to them again. I guess we have because T destroyed the family. T is referring to Talinda Bennington. Here's another one where he's actually saying, last, we want to talk with the kids. We've never blocked you. Unblock us. Stop profiting off of depression. That's it. And then this one. Imagine growing up with your mom cutting off communication from their aunt and uncle. I'm not worried about the kids. They know who we are, and we never cut off T's access to our boys. But she can't say the same. My boys know everything and still love their aunt. It's just a bunch of drama. But anyway, back to my point. When I was standing there cooking breakfast this morning and I was hearing this, because I'll admit, I don't know anything about Twitch, I was seriously taken back. I had chills because there were too many parallels. And in this day and age, you have to question everything, right? And as far as Chester goes, I know his world inside and out because I'm heavily involved in it. He's part of my life. And if there's anything I know from my connection to Chester and his whole family, it's that, honestly, I don't really think anything's a coincidence. But with this, is it a coincidence, or is there something else way bigger going on here, and this is just like a little narrative that they have and they set it up for different like celebrities? Are they just getting sloppy now? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.